You can see who's in control of the police and who authorized the police to act in this way. So there is this. There was also EU-Russia summit.
Yes, it was last week.
Yes, where the discussion and from the formal discussions were also about Ukraine, but also from the information we have from Barroso and Van Rompuy, there was a serious discussion behind, so to say, the closed doors between Putin and the EU, Barroso and Van Rompuy, where it was clearly explained that Europe is serious on this and that Russia understood the position. That's what we know. Russia is also facing or having the Sochi Olympic Games at the moment.
Yes, this could be used as a pressure.
Exactly, this could be used as a pressure.
I mean, I was actually.
And we have called for that.
You have.
We have
boycott the.
Exactly.
But how many countries did?
No, there was a call not to boycott, but that we would boycott. You see, in politics, what we are trying to do is we are trying to use pressure without actually applying those sanctions. Because the problem is, truly, if you do a sanctions, it's like slapping somebody in the face. And if you do that, then you stop the discussion. We want to talk to the president of the country, to explain to him, because he seems to live in a bubble. He does not see what the people
are you sure
in Euromaidan are doing.
Has not the...
I'm talking about Yanukovych.
Oh yes, Yanukovych, yes.
I think his administration is not aware of how serious people are and that they will just not go home.
Yeah, but also Putin, who gives so much support to him.
Well, what we heard in Ukraine from the people was that Ukrainians are different than the Russians, and this is where the mistake was made. You know,
well, in what
to give
sense?
you an example, 200,000 protests when there is problems with the votings for the President Putin in Russia, and after a week they go home. To give you an example,
they do.
Here they do not go home, and they will not go home. They say until this is solved, and they are at -20. They are at extremely cold weather temperatures, and they're just staying there. You know,
what we see
because they have nothing to lose, and they say they will fight for this. You know, and they even told me, and I'm talking even about young people. They told me, because I told them there's nothing that can break your barricades, because they built such high barricades, and they put the bags of snow and they put water on them, and because it's so cold, it is like a concrete block now of
ice.
4 or 5 meters of barricades around to protect themselves after the attacks. Before they were smaller. In December when we were there, the barricades were smaller. But then they fortified them in order so the police will not come and attack them. And I said to them, only tanks can break this. And they told me, even if tanks come, they cannot take us home. You know, so.
Yes, indeed. We have European elections this year at the end of May, like every 5 years. But still, this year will be pretty different to what we used to have in the past, in previous elections. And this is due to several changes. On one hand, in the system we have, on the other hand, in the context in which these elections will take place. And I think we can really see 3 big differences compared to 2009, 2004, and even before. The first one is that for the first time, the elections will have a direct impact on the election, on the choice of the President of the Commission. So the President of the Commission is the head of the EU executive. He was so far chosen by the heads of states and governments. Now, with the Lisbon Treaty, what happens is that this person should be, this kind of EU Prime Minister, should be elected by the European Parliament. So that's very important. So what happens is that the member states will propose a candidate, taking into account the results of the elections, and then this candidate will have to look for majority in the hemicycle, in the European Parliament to get elected.
So just to clarify a little bit.